Okay, so picture this for me. You've just walked into a bar,
Right.
and visually, it's
Yeah.
perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
we are talking a cinematic masterpiece of relaxation.
Uh,
You've got bamboo accents. The lighting is low and warm. Maybe there's even, sand on the floor. Your eyes are telling you, this is paradise.
okay, yeah. I'm there. I'm feeling relaxed.
But then the sound system kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, say, gentle ocean waves or some steel drums, it's high-speed industrial techno.
Oh no.
Or maybe it's just the aggressive hum of a refrigerator and someone arguing on a cell phone.
And instantly the palm trees just look like plastic.
Right, the illusion just snaps. It's completely gone.
You know, there's actually a term for this in environmental psychology. It's called the uncanny valley of atmosphere.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we usually talk about the uncanny valley with robots when they look almost human but not quite and it just creeps us out.
Sure.
But the same thing happens with places. When the visual cues say luxury beach, but the auditory cues say warehouse rave, your brain just rejects the whole experience.
It rejects it hard. And that dissonance, that moment where your brain just goes, nope, this is fake, is exactly what we're unpacking today.
Mhm.
We are doing a deep dive into a really peculiar set of lyrics from The Sound of a Missing Shore, specifically a piece called You Call This Place a Beach.
And I have to say, when I first read this text, I thought it was just a funny rant. You know, old man yells at cloud, or in this case, old man yells at the DJ.
Right.
But the more you look at the specific demands the narrator makes, the more you realize this isn't just about music. It's like a case study in how we project our own internal reality onto the world.
It's definitely more than just a bad Yelp review. So
Yeah.
let's set the scene. The narrator is physically in a place that checks every single box for beach bar. The lyrics are explicit. They got sand for a floor and the sun shines bright.
Yep.
Later on, he mentions the bamboo and palm trees.
Visually, the data is perfect. If
Yeah.
you were an AI analyzing the scene based on images, you'd tag it #paradise.
Totally. But the narrator is sitting there, probably with a drink in his hand, and he is just absolutely seething.
Not happy.
He is not having it. The opening lines set up this conflict immediately. Been sitting in this bar for a bit too long, but I'm waiting around for one particular song,
Uh-huh.
and then the verdict. But the music they're playing don't sit quite right.
That phrase, don't sit quite right, is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
It really is.
It's the first hint of that psychoacoustic disconnect we were talking about. The narrator is acknowledging the visual reality. He sees the sand, he feels the sun, but because the sonic landscape doesn't match his internal expectation, he declares the whole thing null and void.
Null and void to the point of being insulting. And this is where we get the line that just made me laugh out loud. He looks at this whole tropical setup and says, may as well be in Menifee, California.
Ouch. That is, look, no offense to the people of Menifee, but that is a very specific kind of shade to throw.
It's so specific. For our listeners who don't know the geography, Menifee is inland, it's suburban, it's hot, but it's parking lot hot, not tropical breeze hot.
Exactly.
It's the absolute antithesis of an exotic getaway.
It's the geography of the mundane. By invoking Menifee, the narrator is just stripping all the magic away from this bar.
He really is.
He's saying that without the right soundtrack, these palm trees are just stage props. You could move this entire set, the sand, the bamboo, and drop it in a strip mall in the suburbs, and it would be the exact same experience to him.
It's brutal. But it does bring up this idea of sonic branding. Companies spend millions figuring out what their brand sounds like, but we do it as individuals too, don't we?
Absolutely. We are constantly curating the soundtrack of our own lives, and when the world plays the wrong track, we feel displaced.
Mm-hmm.
But what's fascinating here is what the narrator considers the right track. Because usually if you're at a beach bar, you want, reggae, maybe some surf rock, maybe just silence.
Right. If I'm sitting on a sand floor, I'm expecting Bob Marley. Or, the Beach Boys if we're feeling a bit retro.
But this narrator, he has a playlist that just it defies all logic.
It really does. The first specific demand on his list is just, it's baffling. The lyrics go, you call this place a beach, but there ain't no Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
Because it just don't feel like a beach without it. Now, hold on. You have to help me with this. Tiny Tim. The tiptoe through the tulip sky.
Yeah.
The falsetto. The ukulele.
That is the one.
Why? I mean, honestly, why? That is not relaxing music. It's high-pitched, it's vaudevillian, it's bizarre. How does that define a beach?
Okay, see, this is where we have to stop thinking about the music objectively. We have to start thinking about associative memory.
All right, walk me through that.
Bruce had his Madeline cookie. This guy has Tiny Tim. Sound is incredibly sticky when it comes to memory. Maybe the narrator's first great beach experience, maybe the only time he was truly happy, was in, say, 1968, and Tiny Tim was playing on some little transistor radio.
Oh.
That specific frequency, that warbly ukulele sound, became encoded in his brain as the sound of the shore.
So it's not about the aesthetic quality of the music at all. It's a trigger.
Exactly. To you and me, Tiny Tim might sound grating or just weirdly eccentric, but to our narrator, that sound is the key that unlocks the beach feeling.
Yeah.
Without it, the sand is just dirt.
It's funny because it suggests a level of stubbornness that I kind of admire. He's not willing to meet the bar halfway. He's not going to say, okay, no Tiny Tim, but this Jimmy Buffett track is fine.
Yeah.
It's Tiny Tim or bust.
It's total rigidity, and it suggests that the narrator isn't really interacting with the real world. He's walking around with a template, a rigid overlay, and if reality doesn't match that template perfectly, he rejects it.
But the template gets weirder. It's not just Tiny Tim. The chorus introduces this broad, almost aggressive demand for a specific genre. He says, unless you're playing some of that pop rock music, it ain't no beach to me.
Pop rock. It's such a generic term, isn't it?
It's huge. That could be anything from the Beatles to Maroon 5.
Yeah.
It is the most non-specific genre tag you could possibly use.
But notice how he wields it. It's a binary. It ain't no beach to me. He's literally gatekeeping the entire concept of the beach based on this really vague genre.
It feels like he's trying to control the chaos.
Yeah.
Like if he could just categorize the noise into pop rock, he's safe.
I think you're right.
But if it's anything else, if it's jazz or rap or country, the whole vibe is ruined for him.
Well, there is a psychological comfort in the familiar. Pop rock is generally very structured, predictable music, verse, chorus, verse.
Right.
Maybe the narrator feels chaotic inside, and we'll get to that in a minute, and he needs the music to be predictable to ground him.
Right, because we look at the rest of the lyrics, grounded is... It's not how I would describe this guy. The playlist takes a turn. We start with the whimsy of Tiny Tim, but then in the third stanza, things get darker.
Much darker. This is where the psychological profile gets really interesting.
We get introduced to two names. One is a legend and one is, well, a mystery. The line is, but there ain't no Donnie Doom, no Johnny Cash.
Okay, let's stop on Donnie Doom for a second.
Please, because I looked this up. Who is Donnie Doom? Is this a typo? Did he mean MF Doom? Did he mean Donny Osmond and just got confused?
This is the great ambiguity of the text. I mean, it could be a local nickname for some musician in the narrator's circle. It could be a typo in the transcript for Donnie and Marie, which would kind of fit the pop theme but clash with the Doom.
Right.
But honestly, I think Donnie Doom might be a persona the narrator has invented.
Like a mental character. Like an imaginary friend.
Sort of. Think about the pairing. Donnie Doom and Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Doom implies heaviness, metal, maybe sludge, and then you have Johnny Cash.
And the Man in Black.
Right. And we're not talking about a boy named Sue here. We're talking about the spectral presence of Johnny Cash, that low baritone voice, the fulsome prison blues energy. This is not fun in the sun music.
That's a really good point. You don't put on Johnny Cash when you want to play beach volleyball.
No.
You put on Johnny Cash when you want to drink whiskey and stare at the horizon and think about all your regrets.
Precisely. So now, look at the playlist we have constructed. Tiny Tim, Pop Rock, Donnie Doom, Johnny Cash.
That is a schizophrenic playlist. If a DJ played that sequence, the dance floor would clear out.
It would be a complete disaster. But for the narrator, this specific chaotic mix is required. It tells us that he isn't looking for relaxation in the traditional sense. He's looking for something moodier. He wants the whimsy, sure, but he also craves the grit. He wants the darkness.
So the sunny beach visual is actually the problem for him. It's too bright. It's too happy. He needs Johnny Cash to dim the lights, metaphorically speaking.
Exactly. He's trying to drag the atmosphere down to his level. He's bringing the doom to the beach.
And then he completely takes the gloves off.
Oh.
The final ultimatum. He's done being polite. He says, if this place don't start playing Jim Morrison, they can kiss my ash.
Okay, the aggression here just spikes off the chart.
Kiss my ash.
Yeah.
Let's dissect that. Obviously, it's a pun, a bowdlerized curse word. But the ash part, I'm picturing an ashtray.
It grounds him physically in the bar. You can almost see the scene. He's chain smoking, watching the ash build up, just getting more and more agitated.
Yeah.
The pun isn't just a joke, it's a threat. It's a kiss my ring moment, but, grittier.
And the demand is Jim Morrison. The Doors.
Now we are in full psychedelic territory. Think about the door sound. It's organ heavy, it's hypnotic, and Morrison. Morrison is the Lizard King. He's chaotic, he's shouting, he's
Right.
whispering.
The end. Brink on through.
It's music that is meant to disrupt. So, if we're profiling this narrator, he starts by asking for Tiny Tim, which is nostalgia, eccentricity,
Right.
moves to pop rock, which is structure, demands Johnny Cash, which is grit and sorrow, and ends with Jim Morrison, chaos and rebellion.
That is a roller coaster.
It is, and it leads me to believe that this person isn't actually looking for a beach at all.
What do you mean by that?
I think he's looking for a place that matches his own internal turmoil. He feels complex, sad, weird, angry, nostalgic all at once. A pristine, sunny beach with steel drums feels fake to him because he doesn't feel pristine and sunny.
Wow. Okay. So, it ain't no beach to me is just another way of saying this place doesn't get me.
Bingo! It is a cry for validation. Play my songs so I know I exist here. Until you play Jim Morrison, I am just a ghost in a tiki bar.
That's actually kind of tragic when you put it like that.
It is. It's the tragedy of the modern consumer. We think we can just buy an experience. We pay for the flight, the hotel, the drinks, but we can't buy the feeling. The feeling comes from that alignment between the outside world and our inside world. And for this guy, that alignment is impossible unless the DJ is absolutely deranged.
I love that idea that the DJ has to be deranged to save this man's soul. It really makes you think about how we judge places.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been guilty of this. I've walked into a coffee shop that looked cool, but they were playing like smooth jazz, and I immediately wanted to leave.
The sonic branding didn't match your identity.
It felt wrong. I felt like I was in a dentist's waiting room, not a cool cafe.
And that's the Menifee effect. The moment the sound disconnects from the visual, the magic just evaporates. You see the cracks in the paint, you see the dust on the floor. The spell is broken.
So bring it back to you, listening. We all have this, right? Maybe not Tiny Tim. Please, God, not Tiny Tim.
Hopefully not.
But we all have that internal checklist.
We do. We're all walking around with a phantom playlist. We have a script for what a romantic dinner sounds like, what a productive morning sounds like, what a road trip sounds like.
And when reality goes off script,
We get cranky. We get like our narrator. We sit there and say, this isn't a road trip. This is just driving.
you call this a commute. There ain't no podcast.
Exactly. We're constantly trying to force the world to conform to our playlist.
I want to go back to the Donnie Doom thing for 1 second before we wrap because it really sticks with me. Do you think there's a version of this narrator that's ever happy? If the DJ actually did it, if he played Tiptoe Through the Tulips, followed immediately by Folsom Prison Blues and then Light My Fire, does the narrator finally relax?
That is the million-dollar question. And my hypothesis, no.
No. Why not?
I think if the DJ played that exact sequence, the narrator would find something else to complain about. The volume isn't right. The bass is too muddy because the dissatisfaction isn't really about the music. The music is just the symptom. The dissatisfaction is internal. He's waiting around for one particular song that might not actually exist.
He's chasing the dragon.
He's chasing a memory of a feeling that he can't quite catch. And that is why he's stuck in the bar getting ash everywhere, demanding the impossible.
Well, that took a turn into the existential. But I think that's what makes this text so cool. On the surface, it's just silly lyrics about a picky tourist. But underneath, it's about memory, identity, and the impossibility of recreating the past.
And the power of Jim Morrison to ruin a family vacation.
That too. Always that. So here's my challenge to you, the listener. Next time you're in a place that feels perfect, maybe a park, a restaurant, a party, take a second to just listen. Really listen.
What is the soundtrack of that moment?
And ask yourself, what is the one song that, if they played it, would completely destroy the illusion? What is your Tiny Tim?
Or flip it. What is the one song you're secretly waiting for that would make everything click into place? What song turns Menifee back into paradise?
Deep thoughts for your next beach trip. Just maybe keep the Kiss My Ash comments to yourself.
Probably for the best.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you on the next wave.